found my invoices, so I'm just going to put the number right here of the amount of money I spent. I have a feeling it's more than 200 for sure, which is really sad. And these powders are still sitting here, mostly because I knew I wanted to make a video. They're all expired at this point though. Alright, welcome. So today we're going to be doing a slightly different video. I love watching anti-MLM videos on YouTube. If you don't know what an MLM is, it's a multi-level marketing company like Herbalife, Monet, LipSense, Young Living. There's a bunch. Chances are there's someone on your timeline on Instagram or on Twitter who's a part of an MLM. There's a big anti-MLM community on YouTube that tries to spread awareness against these manipulative tactics, and there's a lot of predatory behavior that occurs with people who are constantly trying to recruit for their MLM, and that's just basically the tip of the iceberg. You get your money from recruiting, even though they will swear that that's not it, it's from selling products, but generally their top clients are the coaches themselves who are trying to recruit people and then buying product themselves in order to sustain their rank in a company. I have a lot of friends and acquaintances who are in MLMs, and it sucks to see them trying to put out this illusion of success and being independent and being your own boss babe and being like having financial freedom. It's a big industry now. Like, MLMs are a big industry. They have grown considerably over the past couple years, and I was not in one, but I did purchase products from one. And we're going to talk about it today. So we're talking about Herbalife. So Herbalife is like a diet company, a lifestyle thing, so they claim. And you will see a lot of coaches on Instagram who will post their workouts, post their shakes, how amazing it is. They'll show like manipulative before and after pictures. And I was skeptical, but at the time, this was a couple years ago, there wasn't an MLM movement going on that was spreading awareness over why you shouldn't join one. So I did buy products, but I was never signed up as a coach. So I bought some of their shakes, knowing damn well that there was something very overpriced about it. Like, I knew it, but I'm someone who like just gets really intrigued. I'm someone who just will watch things and be like, even if there's bad reviews, like I want to try it for myself. So I did. And that was a very poor decision. I was like in my early 20s, and I was like, why not? So I bought like the French vanilla. I brought the, which one is it? The normal protein one, because there's just a basic like vanilla flavored one. There's also cookies and cream, which I bought. I did use that up in its entirety. I bought a Pina Colada one, which was awful. I had a coffee one, I think. I'm gonna try to find my invoices through my email because I don't have my login anymore, and I spent a lot of money. Like, it was a lot of money, and they were heavily discounted. They were like 30% off, 40% off, but it was a lot of money that I shouldn't have spent at the time. Okay, so on the left hand side is the first receipt, and the first order that I placed. On the right is an order that I made a couple weeks after that. So in the first one, you can see that I ordered 2 jars of the vanilla powder thing, and then I did also the cookies and cream, which I mentioned that I loved. I mean, I didn't love, but it was better than the other flavors. And then I had the Prolessa, which was that fat burning, tummy suppressant, appetite thing. And then I also purchased banana caramel, which I didn't mention in this video, but that was okay. It wasn't a great flavor. I think the banana aspect was a little bit too strong for me, but the name banana caramel sounds so tasty. So then I also picked up the French vanilla, which I did talk about. So that was $334.90, and then with the discount, it ended up being $270.44. The second order, I bought a wild berry shake, which again, didn't talk about in this video. I completely forgot about it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't, I don't know, when I think wild berry, to me it fits better into a smoothie versus like a shake. I don't know if that makes sense, but in my mind there's a difference between a smoothie and a shake. So then I also bought the cafe latte, which was okay. I felt like it could have been better since you're adding that coffee flavor, but it wasn't bad. It was like maybe top 3 flavors. Then we have the Pina Colada, which I absolutely hated. Again, I feel like that would have just been better as a smoothie flavor instead of a shake flavor. Then I bought again 2 freaking containers of the protein mix, which goes in every single shake. So even if I'm doing like a pina colada shake, you're still supposed to put a scoop of the protein, like the plain vanilla protein, which is very interesting that they do it that way. And then I forgot to mention this in the video as well, but I bought active fiber complex apple in the apple flavor, which was good. It did smell like apple. It's just a powder that's supposed to give you like a couple of grams of fiber if you're missing that in your daily diet. I saw someone use this in like an oatmeal recipe, and that's kind of what made me want to buy it. it, but it wasn't that good, and it was honestly super, super, super sweet, which it can be a good thing, I guess, because it's better for it to be sweet than just a really nasty flavor, but it was just too sweet for my taste buds. And then it says that it came with a free shaker bottle, but I don't remember that being there, because I feel like I would have definitely remembered, and every time I look at a shaker bottle that says Herbalife, I would be like cringing on the inside. So I definitely don't think they included that in my order. Whether that was an error or what, I'm not sure, but this is everything I spent at Herbalife. So overall, if you add it all up, which I did, then I would have spent $422.44 if I'm including all the discounts that they, gave me. So yeah, okay, let's get back to the video. A very irresponsible spender. That's a habit that I'm trying to break. I'm trying to pay off all my debt, yada, yada, yada. So I was never signed up as a coach, but back then coaches would put just a link to their shop so you could just purchase directly from them. They gain obviously a commission from my purchase, and she started from then on emailing me and trying to get my info, like my phone number and stuff. Luckily at the time I didn't have to give it. Now I see some Herbalife coaches do it a little differently, where you have to fill out a form in their link from their bio, and basically you give in your phone number, email, all this stuff, so they can keep messaging you. Regardless of whether or not you purchase the product, they will continue to hound you, most of them, unfortunately. But I would just delete the emails that my coach would get me, because I didn't want to hear it. I didn't care if she was gonna like sign me up for like a workout program, or what she was gonna do, or she was gonna try to get me to like take their supplements. Herbalife does sell a lot of supplements and a lot of teas, which I wasn't interested in. So I bought the protein shakes, which I'm going to show you, or I'm going to insert here. This is definitely not all of them. I have, like I said, used some of them up, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second, but also they're not all here. So there's a lot. I bought way too much. And if I can, I'm gonna add up the whole total, and we'll see how much I actually spent, because it's disgusting, it's awful and embarrassing. This is an embarrassing video to make, but I figured I'd make it because not a lot of people talk about the actual shakes. So I bought all of those, and I brought their Prolessa, which was like $110. It's like a fat burner for your tummy, and it has like a what is it, a suppressant. So I didn't know. Now I see coaches like drink it as a shot, just plain powder, but the packaging actually says mix it with water, and I would do that and I would hate it. It has such a weird, like a sweet scent, I said scent. It's like a sweet taste, but it's very finely milled powder, but it just, something very weird about it. And it warns you on the packaging that you might experience some upset stomach symptoms, which I didn't necessarily, but it didn't sit well with me. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like it, I didn't use it, and it expired. Like all those products expired within 6 months, I want to say, maybe a year to 6 months. So I threw it out. Like I wasn't gonna keep trying it. I just forgot about it, and I just wasn't committed to changing. I just kind of forgot about it. I was just using the shakes. I would use them every morning with water, and you can use almond milk and stuff, but even with water, they're insanely thick. Like they're very thick shakes. And the only good thing that I will say, aside from the fact that they smell good, is that they're not chalky. So if you're someone who drinks protein shakes and you hate that chalky, weird feeling of your throat, they're not chalky at all, but they are very thick. They're just very thick, and if you let it sit for a while, like if you don't have them in a shaker container, I just feel like they're very thick. And it makes sense why people always put a spoon. Like when coaches are making their shakes, they always put a spoon in, because you just gotta be mixing it, because it just thickens up so much. The taste wasn't bad, like it wasn't. It smelled really good. The taste, except for the Pina Colada one, I hated that one. It wasn't bad, but there was just something about it that didn't sit well with me. I wasn't able to finish it. And therefore, because I didn't finish it, I wasn't feeling full. Therefore, it wasn't a good breakfast for me. Some people just, I like the idea of being able to drink my breakfast, just because sometimes I don't wake up with an appetite, but breakfast is the most important part of the day. But if I'm running to work and I have to be at work at 8 a.m., that means I have to wake up at like 5:30, and that means that I want to feel full, and you know what I mean? Like, it's filling in that moment, but I can never finish it all, even though it didn't taste bad, if that makes sense. There's just something about it that my body did not enjoy, and I used up the protein powder. You're supposed to do 1 scoop of the protein and then 2 of the flavor. I saw the coach that I had purchased from, she did 2 protein, 2 flavor. That was a lot of thickness, and you go through powder a lot quicker that way, so I wouldn't recommend that. And I don't recommend these shakes at all. I do like a different shake much better, an actual protein shake. So this isn't supposed to be a meal replacement. And I don't agree with meal replacements at this point, even though they are very convenient and I like the idea of a meal replacement. I use Alani Nu. Their whey protein, this is in fruity cereal. These taste amazing, and they have very little sugar, like very little, surprising amount of sugar considering how sweet they actually taste. So I use the Alani Nu now, and with Herbalife, I was constantly getting messages from the coach, but I blocked her. And then there was another coach that I followed, and she was trying to make it work with Herbalife for so long, and she was just she was trying to, it's really interesting because she was trying to put out this illusion of financial freedom, and she would make all these obnoxious stories. I'm sure you've, like I said before, if you've have anyone on your timeline who sells these types of products and you know what I'm talking about, but she would be very obnoxious and be like, oh, well, don't you want to be like me? Like, I'm a mom and I'm a stay-at-home mom and I get to be with my child at all times because I'm selling Herbalife, blah, blah, blah. But I know she had a job at Sprint, like in her neighborhood. So she would go through these stages where she was unhappy with her like retail job, I guess, which I get it, retail is not easy. And then she would jump into trying to do Herbalife, but then she would find another job. But she was still putting out these videos of how Herbalife alone was supporting her financially. And that wasn't the case. It's very hard. 99% of people who join an MLM do not make enough money to sustain themselves, because it's hard when you're making money primarily on recruiting. They'll say that it's not true, that they make money off selling product and putting people on to like this amazing product, but really is recruiting. And they have to sell a certain amount in order, or recruit a certain amount in order to stay at that rank and to progress. And it's just, so the people at the very top are just making money off the people at the bottom. Very much like a pyramid scheme. Even if those are illegal, they do exist. So it's just not a great business model. And eventually she left Herbalife completely and she went on to another MLM, which is very common. A lot of times when people leave an MLM, they will just jump into another one. So she jumped into Monet and now she's trying to make that work, and same tactics, but all her Herbalife stories have disappeared. She no longer uses them, even though she says that she loves them. I noticed her progress was stagnant anyway when it comes to weight loss, and I feel really bad because I feel like if she had just implemented healthier eating habits, it might have been a little bit different. Same thing for me. I'm at my goal weight now. That was just because working at a farm was much more active than how I was working in 2017, so I was able to lose the weight. What I eat is the hardest part for me. Like, staying fit, being active is really easy for me, but actually eating well and not eating sugary drinks, that's my weakness, is really hard for me. So what happens is I'll eat my meal, right? And then I'll have like 2 cups of iced tea with it. That's a lot of sugar. And then for breakfast, I'll have a big cup of apple juice, which is a lot of sugar depending on what you're choosing. And then sometimes I would go in for seconds for apple juice, and like dinner, same thing. So it's like I'm drinking so much sugary drinks and it's just a bunch of empty calories, and it was just hard. Like, that's my weakness, like that type of sugar. But sugar in terms of like sweets, I'm not necessarily always like so addicted to and fiending for them, but the drinking is a problem still currently. But I've been able to keep the weight off for now, and it's just now in a state of trying to tone up and do all these kinds of other things. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's my story with Herbalife. Didn't really like the products. I feel like they're very overpriced even when they're on sale. But you know, they make it seem good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like MLM people are very persuasive in their stories and stuff, but I wouldn't recommend them personally. Like, I just don't think the taste is good. I think after a certain amount of time, your body just gets over it. Like, even though I had so many different flavors, I'm trying to think of what other ones I bought because I really can't remember, but it was a bunch, and I made such a big order, and shipping wasn't even free. And yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna remember things later on after I edit this video. But I think those are my overall general thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. Have you ever joined Herbalife? Did you taste their shakes? What do you think? Because I think in the grand scheme of like MLM shakes and stuff, I don't think they're bad. I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you and say they're terrible, don't buy them. But there's just something about it that my body didn't like, and I wanted to like it because the powder itself smells so good. Like French vanilla, cookies and cream. I finished up a whole tube of cookies and cream, but I had to really force myself to do it. And that's not easy. Anyway, if you made it to the end of my video, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.